Hello, and welcome to today's podcast. I swear there could be a better introduction than that. Welcome to today's podcast. I think I'm going to try and think of something cool to say next time because it's like so boring. But anyway, what are we going to talk about today? It's interesting because I'm going to be talking about our beliefs and our energy behind them. I feel like I use that word so much, but you know when you think you overuse a word because you use it so much? So I try and use other words because I group them all together of your fears, your beliefs, your shadows, your stories, whatever. It's just the word to describe the feeling or the thoughts that you have in your mind that create everything around you. So when I say beliefs, I am talking about those things that you believe to be true. So it's whether you believe the grass is green, all the way up to whether you believe the earth is round or flat, or whether you believe in a god and a religion, or whether you believe in what you should be eating, what you should be wearing, doing, whatever it is, it's all a belief. And it's funny, I don't really engage as much in some of the other people's social media that are teaching or sharing things with other people on, how to make themselves better or how they're moving along their healing or spirituality. I try not to get involved in that anymore so that I can really sort of tune into my own beliefs and the things that feel good for me and the things that I believe to be true. But I was going to say the word accidentally, but nothing's accidentally, right? I did see a post, it was either yesterday or the day before, of someone saying that you had to follow these steps to be successful and get people to buy what you were selling. And you must, blah. And now, whilst I'm someone who believes that everyone has their own beliefs and there is their own truth in whatever people are writing and saying and believing, I 100% believe that, because everyone is just going to believe what they believe. Wow, I'm going to say this word a lot in this. I apologize. Maybe we could count them at the end. But they are going to write what they believe to be true from where they are with their own knowledge in that moment. But I was thinking about, because that is one of the reasons why I really jumped out of that mainstream spirituality and healing, is because I could not listen to another person telling me that I had to do it this way. We have to follow these steps. And it's not everyone who does that, because obviously there are steps to things, and the steps that people are giving you is based on their experience or their knowledge or their own understanding, and they are just trying to help us get to where we want to go by giving them or giving you or someone else the steps that helped them along the way. It's the same thing I do. If I'm talking about something and I say, okay, if you do this and this and this is going to help you do this. It's not fully locked in where, okay, if you do this, this is going to happen and that's it, full stop, end of story, no discussion, it is 100% correct. And whilst I was thinking about that post the other day, it's like, well, that's not true. You cannot say to people that you need to follow these steps without the belief, without the energy behind it to believe that it's true. So yes, of course, the steps that you are giving people to do something, whatever the outcome is, yes, it can work, but we need to have that energy behind it. We need to have that belief behind it. Because if we don't believe it to be true, if we don't hold that energy that this is possible, that this outcome is possible based on following these steps, then there is no way in hell that it is going to work. There is no way that someone can say, oh, here, Anna, go do this step 1, step 2, step 3. If I don't believe one word of what that step 1, 2, and 3, if I don't believe that the outcome that I am aiming for is going to come from these steps, it will not work. So it is great to give people the steps, but we need the energy and the belief behind it. And I just keep saying this over and over and over and over and over again with everything that I do. If you eliminated every single other thing that I ever learnt, talked about, connected to, whatever, and you just focused on the belief, it's literally all that you need. Because once you have that belief and you believe it to be true, it is going to become true. There's no ifs or buts about it. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a millionaire and I believe it for 3 seconds and tomorrow my bank account has $1 million in it. I'm not talking about that, because we do need to build up that energy towards whatever the goals are. But we're not talking about how to manifest today. That's a topic all on its own, but it always comes down to that belief and our energy behind it. So we need to really make sure that the beliefs that we are holding and the energy that we are holding on to is everything that we want right now. We want it to be based on everything that we do actually believe to be true for ourselves, that we do actually really think is possible for us, and that they are all the beliefs that are guiding us towards the things that we actually want and the things that are actually true for ourselves. So this is why, and this isn't a sales spiel, but it feels like it's going to turn into one, but it's not. I know, and this, okay, this is a great example, because me talking about a program suddenly starts feeling, and it's not just me, it'll be other people as well who'll go, oh my God, she's trying to sell something. There's a different energy behind trying to sell something and showing or sharing something with people where you feel that it would be beneficial to them. It's not a gross sales tactic. If you were talking about something that you know will benefit someone else, and that someone else needs to hear what you're talking about, or someone needs to buy what you were selling. And if you were thinking that anyone who was talking about something that they're offering or something that they're selling is salesy and gross and uncomfortable, that is your belief. And I get that, because I grew up in a very sales-oriented family, and I was so against being a salesy type person. It was like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to sell myself. And yes, it could be a million different issues. Oh, you don't believe in sales. We could go down that path, but it's because I held on to that belief that all salespeople were gross, and anyone trying to sell something was disgusting and uncomfortable, and people would only talk to you because they were trying to sell you something. And yes, that could be based on, you know, some of the experiences I had of people trying to sell you things, and how many times I got sucked into some of those pyramid or MLM type things. Let's not go there, because I'm sure we've all been down those paths. But we create that belief based on what other people tell us, what we experience. And you know this is not new information, but it is that behind a belief that holds us back from creating our own beliefs or stepping more into the things that we really want to believe. Like holding on to a belief that people who are selling is salesy is not going to destroy your life. It's not a belief that's going to harm you. It's just a belief that could be hindering the way that you operate if you have your own business or if you have something that you want to promote or talk about to other people. So that's why I created, I've actually called it Vanquish, and it's about vanquishing your beliefs, your stories, your shadows. It's those types of things that we are holding on to that we may not sometimes actually realize that we're holding on to. It's easy to identify some of those beliefs or those stories or those memories. Like when you start healing, there's so many experiences and you can really tap into straight away. Those ones sitting on the surface that you know are driving you towards the misery you were in before you started your journey. So it's the, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not enough. Oh, everyone said I would fail. Oh, I look like crap. I'm too fat. I'm too ugly. I'm too dumb. I'm too stupid. We can look at all those surface beliefs based on whatever experiences we had, but it's the ones underneath that we need to find so that we can eliminate to project us into our next step. Because I think if we focus on the things that we actually want, the things that we desire, the things that we want to bring more into our life, those beliefs and stories, shadows, fears are going to surface as we're moving along that path. And it's that stepping forward versus the stepping back. It's not so much about us, okay, so let's go back in time and bring up every painful memory, experience, words where people have hurt me, etc., so that we can start healing them. No, what we need to do is go forward into the things that we really want. Step forward into everything that we want to achieve and see what those thoughts and beliefs, there's that word 1 billion times that we're going to hear in this conversation, that are holding us back from getting what we want. So if we did decide we wanted to become a millionaire, like you could instantly think about, all these thoughts that are suddenly popping in your head where they are telling you that you're not going to be a millionaire, that's not possible, you don't have a business, or you don't have this, yada, yada, yada. You're already going to have those kind of beliefs. So if they are coming up and surfacing because you created this new thing that you want to manifest, then those are the ones that you can work on right now. So we can eliminate, we can destroy them, we can vanquish them out of our system so we can consistently move forward. It's like going on a path and there's lots of trees and bushes in the way, and you are trying to get to the beautiful castle at the end of the path, and as you're walking along there's all these weeds and gross plants that you need to chop down, or I don't know, whatever you do with plants, pull them out, destroy them, so that we can actually get through that path and get to whatever it is on the other side. And it sounds super basic, and it's just like it's just like a fairy tale story, but when you bring it all down back to basics, that's exactly what we're trying to do. That's exactly what we are doing every day, is trying to work towards something and experience the things that come up along the way. And regardless whether we are purposely doing that or not, it's still going to happen. Even if we are not someone who is working on their spirituality or working on their healing, if they're just someone who is in their everyday job, living their everyday life, they're still there with some kind of goal, because even if they haven't set themselves up with an end goal, they are going to work and they are doing their job so that they can, whether it's providing for their family or being able to pay the bills or supporting someone, or they're doing that job to lead them into something else, or whatever it is, they're still working towards something. And while they are still living that life, there are still going to be those things that are going to come up as they're progressing on that journey, even whether they choose to or not, that they will need to address. And if you don't have the skills and you don't know how to work through some of those beliefs, stories, shadows, and fears that come up, your journey is just going to be pretty boring. Because if you have those skills and when something comes up and you go, I don't think that belief's really working for me. I don't think I really like that one. Let's see if we can get rid of that, and we can work on vanquishing that belief, story, fear, shadow. We're going to expand into an even greater sense of being. Our goals may become bigger. Our goals may become closer. We may achieve those goals that were closer to us, and then we can go, okay, well, we've done that now. What's next? What else can I do? And we can create new goals because we are constantly expanding and growing whilst we are working on all those things that were previously holding us back. Because I don't think we are meant to be these solid beings where we're not moving. I honestly believe that we are supposed to be consistently growing, consistently moving in a new direction, experiencing along the way, finding as much love and joy and fun in what we are doing with our lives and how we are being in this world, how we are experiencing everything around us. Otherwise, what's the point? It's funny, I actually got I was thinking this morning because I have full circled my spirituality, where I have gone around the whole circle, and I feel like I'm just going in a circle. It's a never-ending circle of learning, understanding, and growing. And I was thinking about the concepts that have been created around the whole ascension and 3D to 5D and new earth, and the way I viewed it and said, this is what I believe to be true based on the information I had previously, was all these kind of movements were for us to get to that Zen state, that oneness of... The way I had imaged it was like, well, the highest level of spirituality is us, being like a monk, sitting on the side of a mountain, in our yoga pose, doing our mudras, saying Om, and just sitting in the light. That's what I thought our goal was. That's what I thought we were all supposed to do. That's where we're all supposed to end up. That's the whole purpose of it, is to come in here, live these lives, work through all the crap, and get to that state. That's what I thought it was all about. Now, I know that's not it, because honestly, that's not what I want. Anyway, all of the spirituality that I've learned, all of the tools, everything that I have learned and will continue to learn and absorb, is all here to help me experience this life as my 3D self, to really get in amongst it as a human and experience it without the hindrance of holding on to those belief stories, shadows, fears that are holding me back from achieving all the things we want to achieve. And I am not the first person to say this, and I've seen this more and more as we go along, as people who are evolving, as people who were in that space of teaching others to grow, to learn, to move through these challenges and beliefs and these stories, because that's all everyone is teaching us, is literally how to move forward, because we are all sitting in it, we've all been through it, and it's like, okay, well, now I need to teach it. And part of that teaching process is actually allowing us to go through that teaching process so that we can also move on to whatever our next step is. We're not meant to sit in something and stay in it forever. And I think that if we are, then we're stale. We haven't grown, we haven't expanded. I think we have to continually evolve into something else and then eventually get to that state, to whatever that thing is that brings us joy. And like with many others that I've now seen, they have been from this big teaching state and a big sort of force to be reckoned with, but then they end up doing something that they love doing, and only you will know what you love doing. I always thought that being spiritual meant that, well, you had to do something that was spiritual and something that was weird because, oh, look, I can connect to this, or I can do that, and I can read this. It's not about that. It's about doing what the human likes to do. So, you know, if you want to teach kids how to dance, or if you want to help people get into a house sooner with their finances, or whether you want to paint roofs or look after gardens, whatever it is, that is what your human loves to do. And it no longer becomes about you trying to reach this higher level of spirituality where we're sitting on the side of the mountain saying Om and connecting to the light. I think all of it is just a tool to get us into that space where we are actually enjoying every single moment of our life. And it doesn't have to be us sitting in an Om state. It can be us literally mopping the floor, because if we enjoy mopping the floor, or if we're enjoying being in the house that we were able to manifest, look at me, I'm so happy I can mop the floor. I'm no longer doing a 9 to 5 that I hate. I have time to take the kids out and do these things. I can go and create this over here. I can do that. Whatever it is for us, whatever brings us joy, that's the state we need to get to. But it's because of these beliefs that we're holding on to, we end up just continually trying to strive for something and never getting there, and going, ugh, well, life sucks. Life's too hard. I'm not getting what I want. This isn't working. This is crap. Fuck this, I'm out. But it's not about that. So it's a really interesting idea that I've really started to sit into, because it's only now in the creation of where I'm at and what I'm doing that I'm really feeling into how much more fun it feels doing the things that you enjoy doing purely just because you enjoy doing it. And it doesn't become about the things that you have to do, or the things that other people want you to do, or about making the money, or reaching all these financial goals and being able to have all these things that everyone else expects you to have or do or be or whatever. Because you lose all those beliefs about you thinking that you need to be this way or have this thing, they're all gone because we've worked on all our beliefs. So all that's left is you just being. You just being your true, authentic self, loving every goddamn minute of it, because you're not giving a shit about what anyone else thinks. You're not worrying about how people are going to react to whatever it is that you're doing. You're not worrying about trying to make sure that you've kept this person happy, or that you've done this thing over there. You are just allowing yourself to be in whatever feels good for you. And I think that's where we need to get to. That's where we need to be. It's not about connecting to the light. It's not about having all these modalities and being able to, work on people's energies and read auras and see people on the other side and whatever else that we can all do, because we can all do that because we are all connected to the light and we are all energetic beings. But all of it, every single piece of it is just part of our journey towards us being our true self, whatever that looks like. But in order for us to get there, we need to start finding the things that we want right now, the things that we want to manifest. Allow the thoughts, the belief, the fears and shadows that come up to be vanquished. I'm going to keep using that word. Nice little sales play there. So that we can remove them, so we can get to our goals. And then once we get to those goals, because the goals are the tools that are helping us find the beliefs, right? See where I'm going? It's all a circle. I'm going to say that again because that just fell into place. Those things that we are trying to manifest, those goals, those desires, those dreams, are tools to help us highlight the beliefs, the stories, the fears, and the shadows that we need to work on so that we can vanquish them, continue to find new goals, dreams, and desires until we no longer have any beliefs, stories, fears, or shadows that are holding us back from becoming our truest and most authentic, loving, joyous, and fun self. And that's it. That's our goal. That's all we need to do. Everything else is a tool to help us get there. And once we get there, guess what? We are living the fucking most amazing life possible. Am I at the end goal? Of course not. Am I on my way? Oh, hell yeah. Because I am busting those beliefs. Oh, I don't like that sentence. No. Ooh, I don't like that word, bust. Oh, that's a belief. We are getting rid, we are vanquishing beliefs, fears, shadows, stories to become our truest, authentic self. And that is all we need to do. So I don't think I have anything more to say. I think that just summed that up perfectly. And also, come and join Vanquish. It started yesterday. It's 3 weeks and it will help you in an Anna way. I will give you steps, but not steps you need to follow. I will give you some tools to show you how I work through my beliefs, fears, shadow stories, through the mind, body, and the soul to eliminate them so I can get to my goals that I'm trying to manifest in order to create and live in the life that I actually really want. There'll be information in here somewhere, and I'll see you next week. No, I need to stop saying that. You will hear from me next week. Thanks, guys.